Elon Musk has a history of making bold statements on Twitter, even before he owned the company. Whether it's politics, pop culture, technology, or challenging Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg to a cage match, Musk consistently grabs attention. But his tweets about the stock market have had the biggest impact. Like the time he complimented little-known video game maker CD Projekt. The stock jumped 19% in a matter of hours. The next day, he had a simple hashtag Bitcoin to his Twitter profile, and the coin surged 20% the same day. When Musk tweeted that he kinda loves Etsy, the stock climbed 8% during market open, and eventually hit an all-time high just a week later. After his public missive about meme stock GameStop, the company spiked 62% in one day. He was even sued by the SEC for insider trading because of his tweets about Tesla stock. But that hasn't slowed him down, and that's why I rushed this urgent video to you today. Look, it doesn't matter what you think about Musk's politics or his volatile personality. I certainly don't agree with him about everything, but his tweets have been known to move share prices quickly, and I believe one of Musk's next tweets could have a major effect on the stock market. Specifically, I think a small handful of chip-making stocks could gain attention as Musk presses send. Musk often tweets frequently, in bursts, day and night. He could start tweeting at midnight tonight, 9:30 a.m. tomorrow, or some random time a few days from now. He might even tweet about two under-the-radar chip makers. So I'll get right to the facts of the situation. But first, I will admit, I'm not in Musk's head, and I don't have any official connection to Tesla. I'm just following my research to its logical conclusion. And it tells me these chip makers will be very important to Musk, Tesla, and the entire electric vehicle market in the next few years. Whether Musk tweets about them or not, these companies are likely to get attention thanks to the exponentially growing market around EV charging. Hello, my name is Sean Broderick. I've spent the last decade plus at the forefront of electric vehicle adoption curve. As an investor, I was touting this explosive growth market long before it was cool. In fact, I have a history of spotting trends well before the mainstream media does, including EVs. Just a few short years ago, Toyota's CEO went on record stating he felt EVs were overhyped. And he wasn't the only one who felt that electric vehicles would be a fad. But I was pounding the table, saying we were about to see a massive shift to EVs. Sure enough, electric vehicles are now mainstream. Nearly 1 million EVs were sold worldwide last year, with sales leaping by 2/3 from the previous year, even while the rest of the automobile market was contracting. By 2030, the Wall Street Journal expects over 50% of all new cars purchased in the US will be EVs. China and Europe are expected to hit the mark even sooner than that. Tesla has gone from being an interesting story with a flamboyant owner to one of the 3 most valuable companies in the world. And depending on the day, founder Elon Musk is now the world's richest man. How did he do it? Charging power. You see, polls show over and over again the number one thing holding electric vehicle sales back is what's called range anxiety. People are convinced that EVs will run out of juice before they can find a charger on the road. On top of that, the time it takes to charge an electric car is still far too long for most potential customers. The average charging time takes over an hour just to fill up to 80%, a 200-mile range. That's just not acceptable to folks who are used to a 10-minute fill-up at the gas station. That's where Elon Musk comes in. As a visionary, especially when it comes to electric vehicles, Musk figured out long ago that having a robust and powerful EV charging network was the key to overcoming customer objections. So, while the rest of the market players like Ford, GM, Toyota, and even the US government were building inferior chargers that take an hour to do the job, Musk went his own way, and he built the most powerful chargers on the market, Tesla superchargers. Superchargers are refueling the battery in full in just 30 minutes, more than twice as fast as the other chargers. Car and Driver calls Tesla's network of superchargers the gold standard. Business Insider said the supercharger network is already the most robust fast-charging network globally. Not only that, but Tesla's network of superchargers is far larger than those built by the US government, Ford, etc. Tesla drivers have an app that helps them plan a trip via superchargers to limit range anxiety. This commitment to fast charging is what made Tesla the dominant force in electric vehicles. The now Texas-based company sold 1.3 million vehicles worldwide in 2022. Now the rest of the industry has given up. They've conceded defeat to Tesla. Just a couple of months ago, Musk announced Tesla was making its one-of-a-kind superchargers available to all other EV car companies. They didn't take long to take up his offer. Access to Tesla's holy grail of charging would be a huge boost for their customers and future sales. Ford, GM, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen, Nissan, and Honda are already signed on. Polestar, Rivian, Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler are all expected to sign on soon. Or they may have joined up by the time you read this. The Biden administration is handing out $7.5 billion in subsidies to build even more chargers using Tesla's top-of-the-market technology. Starting in 2025, it's projected that every EV sold in America will be able to access Tesla's superchargers. Plus, China's much larger EV market is also adopting Tesla's charging standard, as is Europe. That means over 120 million EVs a year, and rising, all connected to Tesla's charging network. But there's just one problem, and it's what I expect Musk to tweet about in the coming weeks. Tesla's EVs have a special device inside that allows them to get the full power of the superchargers. Without it, superchargers would be useless, and charging time would still be onerously long. Starting next year, nearly every single EV built worldwide will need this device, or else they will not be able to get full use of Tesla's superchargers. That means a surge in demand is coming for these devices, and only a small handful of advanced chip makers are capable of making them. You see, Musk and Tesla have a secret behind their success, a technological wonder they developed before anyone else. It's this secret ingredient that allows every vehicle Tesla produces to have more power and range than most of their competitors. And it's what allows Tesla's superchargers to refuel the battery so quickly. In fact, Kan-Yang Lee, a PhD at Purdue University, said this device is what propelled Tesla to fame. This device can withstand higher temperatures and operate at much higher voltages than anything else invented. It's incorporated into the inverters or power source inside of every Tesla vehicle, and it's the key piece that allows Tesla superchargers to connect directly to the battery. That's why Teslas can charge up to 200 miles of range in just 15 minutes. And it's what gives Tesla's Model S Plaid the power to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 2.1 seconds. No other charging station or vehicle can come close to matching the power of Tesla. It's why they're at the top of both electric vehicle sales and charging capabilities. And it's largely due to this mysterious device. It's already inside almost every Tesla. But now that nearly every EV built worldwide will have access to Tesla superchargers, they will all need this device to properly harness the power of Tesla's charging network. Otherwise, the superchargers won't work to their maximum capacity, and fill-ups will still take an hour or more. The mass adoption of this device in every electric vehicle and every EV charging station is the key to the future of the industry. Now that GM and Ford, as well as BMW, Mercedes, Nissan, and many others, realize the power of this device, they are scrambling to get their vehicles equipped with it. You can imagine the surge in demand, especially since only a small handful of chip makers actually have the capability of making these unique advanced semiconductors. Investor Business Daily said the demand for this device is the next gold rush. Rajvindra Gill, a leading analyst who's appeared on CNBC, Fox Business, and in the Wall Street Journal, said, "The market for these devices is accelerating at breakneck speed, regardless of a pending economic downturn. In fact, this market is expected to grow by 40% annually over the next 4 years. Gill believes revenue for these devices could grow by 1,200%. The reason is simple. Every electric vehicle will need this technology in order to access Tesla superchargers. I expect Musk to announce this publicly very soon. When he does, he may even point to the specific chip makers behind this breakthrough device, and that will likely get investors talking. It could arrive via tweet tomorrow at 6:25 a.m., like when Musk tweeted that he loved Etsy, and the stock hit an all-time high in the next week. Or any time in the coming days and weeks. No one truly knows for sure. He has over 158 million followers, and his tweets are often fodder for major media outlets. So, when Musk starts moving his mouth, people hear it. That means if he starts talking about the chip makers fueling the shift to EVs, there's bound to be chatter among investors and industry experts. But what we do know is whether Musk sends out this tweet or not, demand for this device is projected to rise rapidly. Chips are at the heart of every great technology, and electric vehicles are no different. When demand spikes for a specialized type of chip, the stock market gains can be astronomical. Take a look at some of the most exceptional examples over the past few years. Most chip makers don't see gains like this, and plenty go belly up. But things can go very well when a company is able to meet a critical market demand. Chip maker NVIDIA is up over 4,000% since May 2016 and became just the 7th company to join the $1 trillion club. All thanks to a special gaming chip they made, which is now in high demand for AI. And it's not just the biggest in the business that see their profits skyrocket. Air Test Systems, a small company who tests the capabilities of specially designed chips, has seen their stock rise 6,407% since going public in November 2012. Indie Semiconductor makes specialized chips for sensors, in-cabin display chips, as well as charging hardware inside of the car. Its stock nearly doubled in the first 3 months of this year. ASML is one of the world's leading manufacturers of precision chip-making equipment. Its stock has nearly doubled in the past 9 months. You see, the device I've been telling you about, the one inside every Tesla, the one that car makers will need to add to their new models in order to get the full power of Tesla superchargers, is a very special type of microchip, made with a material few people have ever dared to use. But it's the key to high-powered fast charging and the end of range anxiety. What I'm talking about is a special kind of microchip made out of a much stronger material than silicon. It's called silicon carbide, and it's the 3rd hardest substance on Earth. These silicon carbide chips are 10 times more efficient than the current silicon chips used in most other EVs. They're smaller, lighter weight, and conduct far higher rates of electricity, all while losing far less energy. That's what allows the EVs to charge so fast when using the higher voltage of Tesla's superchargers. First used in Tesla's Model 3s back in 2017, these silicon carbide chips were the beginning of the electric revolution. Eduardo Merli, the executive of ST Microelectronics, who was Tesla's chip supplier at the time, said, "We wouldn't have had such a boom in electric vehicles without silicon carbide." Silicon carbide is essential to every EV built worldwide going forward. Without silicon carbide, fast charging wouldn't be possible. And without fast charging, mainstream adoption for EVs is unlikely to happen. That's why governments and automakers around the world are scrambling to get their hands on it. China has specifically mentioned it in their 5-year strategic plan. The United States has called for more investment in its creation, calling itself a global leader in the deployment of silicon carbide. It's even being used in national security applications. That's the power of this tiny chip. This is the critical missing piece to EV charging. There truly is nothing else like it right now. And it's the key to the future of electric vehicles worldwide. Currently, this device is the only one capable of providing the power to charge electric vehicles at faster speeds. Now, here's the problem. Silicon carbide chips are extremely difficult to make. They require a very specific skill set. For instance, these chips must be baked at a temperature equal to the outer layer of the sun, and they have to be handled like delicate glass. There's only a small handful of companies in the world with the skill to make silicon carbide chips en masse, and the demand is projected to rise 10 times over the next few years. If you're properly positioned in these chip makers at the forefront of the silicon carbide boom, you could reap the benefits. As EV sales increase, so should these companies. But you don't want to wait too long. Silicon carbide is a bit of an industry insider's secret right now. If Musk were to tweet about these chips, or any of the major auto companies like Ford, GM, or Toyota announced a large order of chips, the small handful of silicon carbide companies in existence could gain a lot of attention from the market. So, if you're interested in finding the best way to get in on the ground level of the EV boom, this could be it.